In the last episode, we talked about authorship. What happens after voice exists? When speaking begins to shape decisions, boundaries, and direction. That mattered because voice alone isn't the end of the journey. You can speak and still feel divided. You can choose and still feel like you're managing yourself. So today's episode is about what comes after voice and choice. It's about integration. When identity no longer feels negotiated, performed, or split. When it begins to feel like home. There was a time I had to translate myself to enter a room. I had to adjust my tone. I had to soften my truth. I had to scan for what was acceptable before I spoke. Not consciously, but habitually. Because when identities split, you're always managing how much of yourself is allowed to exist in a space. What I notice now is quieter than that. I don't rehearse who I am before I speak. I don't edit who I am to belong. I don't feel the need to justify my presence. That doesn't mean I'm louder. It just means I'm located. Integration begins when you no longer need translation to be understood. Not because everyone understands you, but because you understand yourself. When identity integrates, effort quietly falls away. Integration is not dramatic. It doesn't feel like confidence surging through your body. It feels like stability. Voice no longer feels risky. Silence no longer feels like disappearance. And choice no longer feels like pressure. I still think, I still feel, I still discern. But I'm not negotiating my existence moment by moment. Decisions comes from alignment, not urgency. Boundaries exist without explanation. Rest doesn't feel earned. It feels appropriate. And that's the part that surprises people. Integration feels almost ordinary. And that's how you know it's real. When peace does not announce itself, when wholeness does not need witnesses, when the self stops performing even authenticity, what once took effort now takes presence. This is the deepest shift. Belonging is something I no longer look for. It's something I carry. I don't abandon myself to stay connected. I don't fracture to keep the peace. I don't leave my body to survive a moment. That doesn't mean life is easy. It means the self is no longer divided against itself. Integration is not perfection. It's coherence. It's waking up and not needing to ask, who am I allowed to be today? It's working from a place where voice, choice, and self are working together, not competing. That is what home feels like. Not a destination you arrive at once, but a relationship you stop abandoning. This series was never about becoming someone new. It was about remembering what it feels like to live without splitting yourself. And while this arc closes here, identity doesn't stop moving. In the episodes ahead, we'll explore what it looks like to live this integrated self inside of real life. Relationships, money, work, creativity, purpose, not as theory, but as practice. Because coming home to yourself is not the end of the journey. It's the place where you finally get to begin. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I post the next video. Sur ce, on se dit à la prochaine. See you soon.